Should you use a script for your presentation? Hello everyone, this is Darren here, and for me as a public speaker for more than 10 years, I find it really exciting to share with anyone I meet whenever they ask me, Darren, should I use a script for my presentation? And if I do, what are some of the techniques and strategies for me to use it seamlessly and naturally? So let me share with you first. Should we use a script when we present? Well, whether or not you use a particular script, it all depends on the occasion. For some of the occasions where you are the master of ceremony, when you're the compere, you're the MC, you're the host, well, it's fine for you to use a script. Now, in those cases, we would recommend not holding an A4 size paper, perhaps to hold cue cards with some of the salient points written on the cue cards, so it's easier for you to refer, but yet without having to bring the card so close to your face, without having to look and stare at those written cue cards or written notes, especially those big ones, and your font size of your words are very small. But there are some occasions where perhaps not holding any cards, not looking at your script would be the best. For example, when you are doing a video like this, when you are trying to share value with others, that's one. The other one, it's an interpersonal communication situation. When you're speaking with someone, you're connecting with someone. When you go for an interview as well, the last thing you want to do is to hold a script, because they don't want to just watch an interviewee present and it seems like this interviewer has been coached. This interview is just sharing something that's not live. It's something that's already been pre-thought of. Now, that's not something that we want. There are many alternatives to using a script. For example, instead of cue cards, you can make use of PowerPoint slides as visual aids. There are some speakers who are really good at doing that. They will flash out 3 or 4 points on the screen, and then just by looking at those points, they will be able to elaborate, give details, demonstrate, tell a story, and make a point for that particular bullet point. And that's something you should consider as well. Because you see, even if you were to use a script, even if you were to use a cue card, it is important to note that we try and not write our entire speech out in prose. That means word for word, sentence after sentence. What we want to do is to be able to perhaps write it down in point forms, the key points, the salient points, or the keywords. Some individuals, even on their cue cards, they have a mind map. So because that helps to jolt your memory, and then you can elaborate extemporaneously. Likewise, when you use visual aids, your PowerPoint slides, by having those points being flashed on the screen, you'll be able to look at them and you'll be able to elaborate and give more details accordingly. Other than a script, other than visual aids, what other things can help you? Well, if you are doing video or media presenting and you have the budget or you have the equipment, perhaps a teleprompter, then it will be much easier for you. You wouldn't really have to memorize per se. The final thing that I want to share is, if you were to use a script, always remember that eye contact anchoring is key. What this means is that the script is not your audience, the cue cards, they are not your audience, but your actual audience members, they are your audience. What you should do is, you can take a look at your cue cards, but the proportion, the time taken to look at your audience versus the time taken to look at your cue cards, it should be more in favor of the audience. How do we do that? We tend to read faster than we speak. So if you take a look at your cue cards, you see 4 lines. For instance, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Or 4 words or 5 words. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You can look up at the audience. Once you look at it, and then you look up, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Then you take a look again at the next 4 words and you look up again. Because that, in a way, when you create these different segments, it makes it easier for you to present without having to be so dependent on your particular script or your cue cards. That's one particular strategy. Now, the other strategy that you can use is that you would want to have eye contact distribution. So eye contact distribution means that you don't just look at one particular audience member, but you also look at the audience members on the extreme end. So it doesn't still quite appear that you're looking as many times at your script or your cue cards, but because you're panning and your body is shifting to the different audience members on different ends, they are seeing perhaps say different parts, and those moments that you are panning, it's possible for you to have a little break of the eye contact to look at a cue card. So there's also another strategy in which you can consider. Final strategy is some speakers, they will even engage in a discussion with the audience, and while the audience members, they are speaking and they are contributing, they do take the time to do a quick reference or quick glance at their notes just to jolt their memory as to what to say next and what to facilitate next. So I hope all these strategies, they've been very useful for you. Do let me know how they are being applied in your case, because each case turns on its own factual matrix, feel free to let me know. And if you have any further questions, feel free to let me know as well. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much and have a nice day.